wanna do a podcast? We make a darn good team. It always goes without a hitch. Let's head to Twitch and go start up the stream. Do you wanna do a podcast? It's the Nerd Glasses Podcast. Let's start now. Hi everyone and welcome to the Nerd Glasses Podcast.
Come? Alright, I'll do my own bit for myself.
Oh wait, no silence.
We're doing it. Get off the road.
Hey, Dave. Dave?
Hey, Boater.
Why can a Sith get colder than a Jedi?
Why?
Because only a Sith deals an absolute zero. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Nerd Glasses Podcast. I am most definitely Boater.
I'm David.
Are you?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Welcome, Steve. Move that mic just a little bit closer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to hear those beautiful tones. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Dave is across the country and perhaps tuning in out of time zone. You know, I don't know. It's 4 something where he is. So I have no idea. But Dave, if you're watching, we love you. If you're not watching, yeah, we still love you.
This hat's really comfortable, by the way, Dave. I might have to hide it in my office.
Now you know why he always wears them. It's not for the team. It's because they're comfy.
Yeah.
I'm going to get yelled at. What do you mean it's not for the team? That's my Dave impression, apparently.
That's a pretty good Dave impression.
Just yelling through my teeth! Alright, before I start spraying everywhere, hello everyone and welcome. Like I said, we've got some fun topics to talk about tonight. We've got some usual suspects coming back and a few new things besides, and all of this eventually leading up to the Citadel as well. Before we get going too far, I am going to mention, as I often do during the month, that we are currently raising money for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. So, if you are interested in contributing to the cause, go to the link down below.
It's for the kids.
I don't know what necessarily we're gonna make me do for it, but currently raising money. And yeah, on Sunday I hit my initial goal. That Dave has already drank from that one, so I'm going to put a veto on that. It is still here. It is room temperature and probably flat as heck. But also Dave drank from that, so I'm going to leave that for him when he returns.
It'll just stay right there like an ominous presence.
Yeah, like red uplighting.
Yeah.
Shrouded in otherwise black, like. Alright.
Especially with the burp.
Yeah, that's what really completes the Emperor's theme. Let's kick things off with a bit of a Twitch ban. And this isn't actually a specific account getting banned, but this is actually someone saying, hey, these people maybe should get bans. XQC has recently been overwhelmed by stream snipers while playing Vampire the Masquerade. A bunch of people going in, immediately singling him out because, oh, haha, he's streaming for a ton of people. It'll be really funny for the lulz to just focus on him and take him out. And it's really easy to tell that they're stream sniping because it's their Twitch handle, TTV. Like, sorry, I got like a hair in my mouth or something.
Why would you announce that, oh, hey, I'm stream sniping this guy?
Yeah, like it's very clearly, you know, poor sportsmanlike and all that. And he's like, hey, Twitch, you should do something about this. These guys should get banned for this. The thing is, Twitch does have a rule on the books, actually, for not so much like just being griefing, not for griefing someone necessarily, and that's what they're doing, but for trying to promote their own streams while doing so.
Mhm.
And that's really hard to like prove intent on that. Like, are they stream sniping just to grief? Are they doing it so that people say, wow, this XQC guy sucks, I better go check out username redacted for St. Jude on Twitch because he seems to be doing a lot better.
Then you look at the follower count, like, oh, hey, this one has like 10
Yeah,
followers.
exactly. That's not how you do it, guys. Um, XUC is saying that he didn't report the snipers though, and it's like, my dude, that is how enforcement works on these big things. They don't have some dude sitting and watching every stream waiting for, there's an infringement. All this stuff where they're like, sometimes it's algorithmic, whatever, but usually it's based on reports. If someone is doing this, report them. That's what it's for. And if Twitch says that's not something we're going to do something about, then that's not something you can report them for or whatever. But if they have a rule on their books that can maybe help out here, report. Help them enforce it. So, not a specific ban, but more a call for bans of a certain kind of behavior on the platform, which I agree with. I've been stream sniped once or twice. Someone was watching an Elite Dangerous run of mine, and I was in a very squishy freighter making a long distance run, and they waylaid me at a certain system and took me out. Like, that's really the only time I've been stream sniped. It was like, okay, yeah, that's what I get for streaming on open, but
It happens a lot in Danny NASCAR.
yeah.
That's
Yeah, because like Danny NASCAR is also one of the bigger streams of the game, so it attracts a lot of attention. Toot toot. How do you guys deal with that?
we just kick him.
Okay.
It's like right after the race.
All right, cool. So that is something that happened over the last 7 days. I almost said Dave, not Dave. What games do we have coming out in the next 7 days?
One game that at least I know of, I didn't put a trailer on because it is rated M for mature.
Ah,
The Evil Dead game comes out on the 13th.
I almost just want to have like a blank nerd glasses, or not nerd glasses, nerd vision scene. So okay, comes out on the 13th.
Yep.
That's perfect. On Friday the 13th.
Oh yeah. It comes out for all major systems, your Xboxes, PlayStations, Switches.
Current and previous gen, so like Xbox
Yep.
One and Xbox Series. Cool.
Yes.
I have been starting to see some things that are like, all right, God of War Ragnarok is the last thing that's going to be on PS4. Everything else first party is going to be PS5. We're starting to see more stuff that's going on Xbox Series. But this has also been because of the difficulty to get hardware in the new generation. It has been a really long cross-generational tale, which has been nice for people that have been unable to get anything. So.
Hopefully, with the movement to the next gen, we'll be seeing more systems pumped out into the stores.
Sony has said that they expect that PlayStation 5 availability will meet demand so long as there are no more COVID lockdowns. So like by the end of the year. Never mind that currently China is in another COVID like full lockdown.
Yeah.
So that is a bit of a long shot. Meanwhile, Microsoft has finally gotten to the point where their Series X is also pretty readily available. The Series S has been more or less since launch, but the Series X is pretty readily available now. But
we actually have one in the store, the Series S.
Yay!
Sale.
Nice. So hey, if you're looking for an Xbox Series S, Insane Games TV, Wilton Mall, hit us up. Did I miss why Blizz is getting sued again? No, Text TV, you are here. We're going over our normal kind of opening strikes. We talked about some Twitch ban stuff, and we're talking about games coming out. We will definitely get there really soon, though. I think next, though, Steve, I'm always asking Dave, Steve, what have you been playing? Like normally I'm asking like last 7 days. What do you play? What are you working on right now? What are you playing, watching, etc.?
That's a really good question. I've been playing a lot of Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga.
Nice.
Been finding my own fun in the game. Haven't really played too much of the main story. Only got through episode 1 and 2.
But it's like a big open world kind of thing,
Oh,
so
yeah.
you're encouraged to make your own fun.
You can go to like any planet. There'll be jobs available for you.
I didn't realize until like today that it was open world. Like I had no idea.
It's It's open world in the vein of like you have multiple hub worlds, kind of like Super Mario 64.
Okay.
Doosty, I will not hop on the Minecraft server right now.
We are currently in the middle of a show, good
mean,
good gentle being.
If this could
But-
run it, it can't.
That would be no. Oh my God! I'm surprised that thing can run Chrome.
Well,
Can that run Minecraft?
one way to find out. That might be the perfect send off for it.
um, let's see. Okay, so yeah, so I really like the original Lego Star Wars games.
Mhm.
Like they're from when they didn't voice the lines at all. They just did the I am your
Yeah.
father was a Polaroid picture. So always seeing Lego games that are post actual voice acting is really weird for me. But I might have to actually break my disinterest in getting them for Skywalker Saga.
You can turn off the voice acting and have it be like a mumble mode.
Really? That's pretty cool. I
But
may have to do that and try that out.
it's definitely a lot of fun, and yeah, all the DLC is already out for it, as far as I'm aware.
I really haven't been playing anything new. I joined Dave for Squadrons last Wednesday for Star Wars Day and fundraising. It felt really, really good to get back into the swing of things, back into the cockpit. I spent probably about 10 minutes of, okay, how do I do this again? And then I was like, oh yeah, B-Wing all night.
It looks like a really fun game.
It was a lot of fun to get back into. I had to stop because I was on the disabled list for a while because my shoulder injury kept me from using the throttle. Aside from that, not playing anything new, but In Space with Markiplier came out not yesterday, but last Monday. I finally got the chance to watch it over the weekend.
Nice.
That's part 2 of In Space with Markiplier. And it was a lot of fun, and more than part 1, although part 1 references other bits in the Markiplier cinematic universe, part 2 referenced a ton of stuff. So, we went back and I was like, oh, I never actually watched A Date with Markiplier. So we watched that. We'd done A Heist with Markiplier one time, but hadn't gotten all the endings before, so did that, got all the endings. Did and watched Who Killed Markiplier and other connected stuff with that. So it's the kind of thing that was really fun to just binge all of those. Like for those not familiar, A Date with Markiplier was done 5 or 6 years ago at this point, but was a very early kind of choose your own adventure game done on YouTube, originally with annotations, but then changed to the end cards when YouTube updated their system for it.
I remember annotations.
Right?
Those were not good.
They were okay. I had actually, so the skip intro button that's on like Netflix shows and everything now?
Yeah.
I had that on one of my series where I had like a 45-second intro narration, but I had a skip intro button. And unfortunately, I can't do that anymore.
You kind of could with like chapters.
I suppose, but it's not something you click on screen. But yeah, I
Yeah.
suppose I could do that with chapters. But yeah, it's Choose Your Own Adventure. A Heist with Markiplier was actually funded as a YouTube original, and I think that came out 3 years ago. And then In Space with Markiplier came out. The first part was April, and then the second part was early May. So a lot of fun, really cool to watch. A little out there and everywhere, but still really good times. So that was a lot of what we were watching, was just doing all that.
I read somewhere the Grumps had a cameo in it.
Yep.
In one of them.
So and easily visible in the first part of part 1 is Dan is one of the crewmates, and then I won't go into details for spoilers or whatever, but Aaron isn't in there, but his uncle, Dr. Cecil H.H. Mills, is the narrator for a few of the paths that can be taken.
Just giving me war flashbacks
And
of that weird era.
Matt Pat has some cameos. There's others who I didn't even recognize. It's really cool that actually that was one really cool thing with going back to A Date with Markiplier, where it was just like a DSLR on a single gimbal, like a little handheld thing like this, to the production that is Heist in space, that are these big rigs, whatever. But still, seeing just the indie filmmaker spirit, and especially when they get the chance to work with other YouTubers and do collabs like that, is that it's at least they give the appearance of these guys are friends and love doing this kind of thing together. And we're sitting there watching. I'm like, expletive, Steph. I really want to make a movie again because
Do
it
it.
has been a really long time. So like, I shot my movie that's going around to film festivals right now 4 years ago, but that was one person sitting at a set at a time. It was more like voice acting in that respect. I haven't actually done people in one set in one location in at least 5 years. I'm like, I really want it because it's so much fun. We were watching a ton of behind the scenes and stuff, so that's what I've been doing and watching.
Should
I-
make another one.
Hmm?
You should make another one.
I do. I do really want to. And if the current movie that I'm have around with film festivals gets a lot of traction, then I have some ideas for a sequel. So check it out. Fantasy Film Festival in Orlando, Florida this weekend.
Nice.
Anyway, let's touch on some icky crypto stuff. And yes, by all means, crypto car. And what we call the NFT roundup, but also includes stuff about cryptocurrency. Which, by the way, if you currently have cryptocurrency and you're seeing its value tanking, and you're wondering if it's ever going to come back up because we're spelling out the doom or whatever here, make sure you go to the link that I'm pasting into chat again, because you can use your cryptocurrency to donate to St. Jude Play Live. Get rid of it in a way that is more ethically conscientious, support a good cause, wipe your hands free of the garbage.
Kill the environment for the kids.
That's a strong statement. Anyway, so one thing that is a continued indicator of the downturn of crypto. Are you familiar with what a stable coin is? A stable coin.
Vaguely.
A stable coin is a token that is directly tied to real world currency.
Yeah.
So one of them, called Terra USD, is supposed to be what they call pegged to the value of the US dollar. And sometimes, like, some of them use like actual assets to back it up. It's, oh, well, for every dollar that is out there in the market cap for that, we have actual money in a bank. Other times it's in more nebulous assets, which is the case with Terra USD. They had money in like a bunch of crypto assets, whatever, which has been dropping really sharply as of late.
That's a really runaround way to get credit.
Yeah, so it's been losing its value compared to the US dollar. Yesterday it dropped as low as 84 cents of the dollar. Like, in previous times of instability, it drops to like 99.5 cents or whatever. So this is a huge drop, and it's not just like a curiosity, whatever. Stable coins are kind of the mechanism that crypto can be turned into real world money. Like, sometimes you can do direct Bitcoin to US dollars, but usually what's actually happening is Bitcoin to stable coin, and then that cashed out into US dollars or whatever currency you're doing. Either crypto, Ethereum, or whatever, or if you're cashing out to euro, pound, what have you. There's stuff for that. To try to prop up the valuation of Terra USD, the people that are in charge of the project sold off a bunch of Bitcoin to liquidate more assets, but of course by selling Bitcoin, they are contributing to the devaluation of cryptocurrency, and it's just really funny to watch. I know at one point Steph, like me and Steph got in, did some light crypto stuff early last year, and I famously sold what I had maybe like September, October last year, where I was just like, I can't ethically have this anymore. Steph held on to hers, but it just, I was like, yeah, is there any of that left? She was like, I don't want to talk about it. That's fine. Yeah, it's, if you have crypto, it might be a good time to get out. And like I said, donate to St. Jude. So that's what I've got for NFT roundup. Do you have any more NFT crypto related stuff? We have kind of like a segue topic. I don't know if you want to keep it on the screen for that, but
A little bit of one. I don't remember if last week you mentioned another heist of, I think it was the Crypto Monkey thing.
oh yeah. The Bored Ape Yacht Club heist.
That.
Yeah, where just like more assets were stolen. It's like, really? You can steal these? I thought the whole point was them being non-fungible, that they couldn't be stolen. And yet they were stolen. Interesting.
There's a will, there's a way.
Yeah. It's, again, the website web3isgoinggreat.com is absolutely fantastic to watch the collapse of this like in real time. I am happy to bring highlights of it here, but there is so much. Oh, okay. I've done a lot of talking. I brought up a lot of the topics, whatever. Steve, tell me something you brought to our table this fine evening.
PlayStation 3, if you still have one and do not have an account yet, a little bit too late there, buddy. The update today, 4.89, removes all PSN account creation on PlayStation 3, and there's a standalone update alongside it for the PS Vita that does the exact same thing.
I feel like there have been multiple times where we've been like, oh, rest in peace, PS3. I remember there was something that, I forget what it was, but the PS3 and Vita, they were taking away
It was
something in the store?
you couldn't add funds or something like
Right,
that.
you couldn't add funds via the console in the store. You could add funds via a different console or via the browser and still use them on your PS3, but you couldn't add funds on the PS3. And this feels like an extension of that. So they're taking away the ability to add a PlayStation Network account from your PS3 and your PS Vita. And it's weird. It feels like a little incremental step towards end of life.
Oh yeah.
Whereas like Windows is like, you're done, you're on your own. This is like, we're going to support everything we can for as long as we can, but eventually it's untenable for us to do some of this.
We're almost to the point where we're at like the 15th anniversary of the
excuse me.
PS3 and Xbox 360.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
360
time.
has been out over 15 years. Yeah, it was 2006, I want to say.
Yeah.
PS3 was shortly after. So these consoles have had a really long life, and we were talking about it. Well, I mean, earlier in the program, we were talking about how hard it is to get this current generation of consoles, which I think has extended the life of the consoles 2 generations previous.
Yeah.
For my part, we have a PS3. We use it to watch YouTube and Netflix. It is in our bedroom. We have a PS4 out in the living room. We do not have a PS5 yet. Meanwhile, I don't use my Xbox 360 anymore because almost all of the games that I would play on it are backwards compatible to Xbox One and Series X. Because Microsoft is doing much better at the backwards compatibility thing. I don't need to worry about the 360 nearly as much.
We're getting to that point with PlayStation.
Yeah.
PlayStation fanboys, fangirls, fan people.
Yeah, getting there
closer,
slowly.
closer.
I mean, and it's not perfect. It does somewhat depend on publisher. Like, I really want to play Need for Speed Most Wanted from 2005, and it is impossible to do so legally now. If my console's disk drive doesn't work, it's not backwards compatible. It's not for sale on Steam or anything like that. EA just doesn't want to sell it. So, it's about time for yo-ho, yo-ho.
There are ways... There are lessons that the Jedi consider unnatural.
Is it possible to learn this power?
You could just go to my hard drive in the back office. Have half the games you want. Anyway.
Hey, let's talk about what was the question? Why Blizz is getting sued again? Sure.
Yeah.
I knew we had a request in chat for something. Okay, so Activision Blizzard is getting sued because for the same reasons that they've been getting sued by everybody else. And we'll get to who's suing them in a minute. But it's because the company, and in particular, Bobby.
What else can I help you with?
That's right. We're talking to you. Has performed actions that have been detrimental to, like, I don't know the exact terminology, has performed actions that have been detrimental to the valuation of the company.
It was a lot to do with just how that whole Xbox deal was rushed.
Was it? Okay.
It was like...
I thought it was more about the accusations that fell on them from summer, but...
That too, but from what I read, it was a lot. Also has to do with like, because that deal was like we heard about it, and then 2 weeks later or something, it's finalized. Boom.
Yeah. I mean, it started happening 3 days after the Business Insider thing saying that Kotick not only knew but was potentially complicit, and had full knowledge of everything. Anyway, we beat around the bush a little bit. The ones suing this time are not California, where the company is based. It's not a particular state on behalf of an employee that resides in that state. It is New York City suing them, specifically because a lot of pension money is wrapped up in the company.
Mm-hmm.
Like Activision is a pretty safe blue chip bet, or was until last summer.
Yeah.
And its stock has tanked since then. And they're saying, huh, you knew about all this stuff going on, huh? And you still did it anyway, contrary to the well being of investor money, because that is what the U.S. justice system protects.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, New York City is suing Activision Blizzard.
New York City in the state of Delaware.
Right. I heard about that, and then it seemed so bizarre that my mind went, no.
It's. Is there like a specific Blizzard office in Delaware, or
I have no idea. It must just be something where there's like a jurisdiction thing. Maybe the bank that the pension is handled through is in Delaware? That's probably what makes the most sense.
registered office of corporation is located in Wilmington, Delaware.
Really, for Activision Blizzard, certificate of incorporation. Huh. Okay. Well, that explains that. Although the company operates in California, its
Mhm.
incorporation papers are in Delaware. Page not found. Thanks.
Thank you,
Um,
Activision Blizzard.
thanks, Blizzard. You're a peach. Yeah. Okay. So it's I don't know. Like, aside from the haha, this is what the justice system cares about, is the pension of a bunch of city employees and probably a lot of police and such like that. I don't have much to comment on it. We've said, I feel, everything that could be said about Activision. What about, I mean, most of the time it's been me and Dave talking when it comes to Activision in the crosshairs. Steve, now's your time to shine. What you got? I'm going to go grab my pen. I'm still listening, but I got to grab my pen that I threw.
That company, Activision Blizzard, they put out fine games over the last 20 or so years, but they need to like sell everything to another company, all the good employees to another company, kind of, because that name will always be with all the allegations that have come out last summer and prior. And
Yeah,
since.
I feel I don't know. I never thought about that, actually. I never thought about what the future will hold for Activision Blizzard as a brand mark. Um, I feel like it means a lot more for Blizzard than it does for Activision.
Yeah.
Activision has big brands under it, like Call of Duty, etc. And we know that they're published by Activision, but your average Call of Duty player doesn't care. Those can be published by Microsoft Game Studios, and no one's really going to care. I think that despite the allegations having started in Blizzard, although it seems that it has a lot of it has spread to the rest of the company, I think that there is still enough cachet, enough
Cash?
stock put in CACHET, however that's pronounced. There's still enough stock placed in the Blizzard name that it is important that that be on Warcraft, on Overwatch, on Diablo.
Kasha.
I think that's cachet, because of the long over the A. The state of being respected or admired. Prestige. Yeah. I know my words. I just don't. I read my words. I don't always talky and listeny my words. You ever have that where just you've been pronouncing, like you've only ever read a word and then you're like, oh no, I need to pronounce this.
Yeah.
My friend Katie ran a D&D campaign, and she tried to have one of like the stereotypical doomsayers with a sign. The end is knee. The end is knee. Katie, do you mean nigh? No. Yes. Yes. And then meanwhile, there's words that you only ever hear, and then you go to spell them out, and you're like, oh no, that's incorrect as well. How did we get on this topic? I don't know. This feels like a weird Lower Decks episode of Nerd Glasses.
Kasha. That's where we came
Yeah, the cachet of the Blizzard name. I think 10 years post acquisition, assuming the acquisition goes through, we'll see. I think that the name Activision will be a historical footnote, but the name Blizzard will have been rehabilitated.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts?
I definitely agree, because, like, Activision has, like, not only Call of Duty, but, like, all the old games that you'd play on the PlayStation 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you'd remember the good times of your Tony Hawk Pro Skaters, or...
Yep, Tony Hawk. If they ever wanted to revive Guitar Hero, that's an Activision stable. But yeah, I don't feel that any of those need the Activision name attached to them. I think it's a good footnote of the past, even to the point where like I have a bunch of Atari and Intellivision games that are published by Activision.
Yeah.
But like their current games that come out, other than Call of Duty, and this is probably more a reflection of me, but like I couldn't tell you what they're publishing this year other than COD. Do you know any others?
No.
I'm curious. Let's find out. But even though Blizzard is similar, that they might, they have Overwatch 2
Yeah.
this year, and that's probably it. They are a brand with a really strong relation to the brand with their fans. Hold on. Ginger ale burp coming out there. Activision games 2022. Plans mobile Warcraft and next Call of Duty. Well, that's Call of Duty. 2022 list, maybe? Help me out here, Google.
Oh, that's just games in general.
Yep, that is just published in 2022. Here's a list of games by what Activision release dates. I don't know.
Warzone.
Yep, so that was that. Okay, hold on. Go away. Mobile ad. Yeah, World of Warcraft Dragonflight expansion. Again, Blizzard. A new Call of Duty game. Crash Team Racing. I don't think Activision when I first think of that. But, okay, it makes sense that that's published by Activision.
Toys for Bob.
Yeah, and then Warcraft 4 is TBA, but probably not this year. So, yeah, I feel like Activision titles can make the transition to Microsoft Game Studios titles and not be any worse for wear.
Yeah.
King, I have no idea. I don't pay attention to the mobile space at all. I don't think that anyone particularly cares who's publishing Candy Crush.
I want my Candy Crush Halo.
Then people will care.
Yeah.
Then people will care.
It's just Master Chief helmets on all the gumdrops and jelly.
Yeah,
beans.
all the gumdrops are just faces of like Chief, Cortana, grunts.
That would be disgusting.
He's got a castle! Let's go crypto adjacent here. We actually talked about whether we wanted this one to be in our NFT crypto roundup or if it could kind of talk about it on its own. You guys be the judge, but we're bringing it up on its own. Nvidia has been Boater, you need a unit here. This says $5.5
It's sued for
million.
your lunch money.
Now it's their lunch money because they
Yeah.
made how much in that fiscal year? Sued $5.5 million for understating how much crypto miners drove its profits in 2017 and 2018. So every year they say to their investors, here's our projected growth, here's the money we made, here's the sectors that drove that money. Gaming was 55% of our profits, etc. And in these fiscal years, they didn't count crypto miners separately. Even though everybody knew that a ton of graphics cards were going to crypto miners, their estimates as to what it was all being used for was like, oh, well, that's our video cards. We're just going to lump that in with gaming. When there's a big difference between people who are buying graphics cards to game, where they're going to be using a card for 3, 4, 6 years. It's verging on 7 years old, but I really hope to replace it this year, nonetheless. And crypto miners who replace them every 2, 3, 4, 6 months, tops. People that are spending a lot of money on the hardware and making Nvidia a lot of money, so long as crypto is still viable and profitable. Because if the crypto bubble pops, when the crypto bubble pops, then all of a sudden that's a bunch of people that aren't buying graphics cards anymore, and projected profits mean nothing, and that just drops.
Yeah.
So all that is to say that after I believe it was an SEC investigation into them, they've been $5.5 million for essentially misleading investors, not telling them that all of these profits that you did keep track of separately internally, you did not disclose to investors that it was in this very volatile crypto market that's all coming from. And so by saying that, it looked like this explosive growth was more stable than it actually was, misleading investors. And again, you got to protect the investors and investors' money. And that's what the SEC did by fining Nvidia $5.5 million. They made billions in that time. I don't know.
It's like as much as one of those scalpers sell it for.
It was. You're almost not wrong. It was as much a slap on the wrist as the 16.8 million or whatever it was fine that Activision got. As like, they're worth this much billion. That is a nothing fine. When the punishment for a crime is a fine, you're just making it so that the rich can get away with it. That's an operating expense.
Yeah.
I just need a new graphics card. Please.
You'll get one.
My gosh. I may have a line on one, but I can't say more. Anyway. Once again, any comments on Nvidia doing this kind of... I mean, it's clear. So that stopped 2019. They were like, all right, they actually split that up. Here's the amount that's going from crypto, whatever. But at that point, the damage had been done. So
Yeah. And like, if we had not gone into the pandemic of 2020, who's to say that crypto would have taken off as much as it did as well?
yeah, it's interesting. So like the big NFT things, I think were just barely pre-pandemic. I'm not sure. Like if you got to pin NFTs specifically on anything, it would be when the first tweet NFT was sold for like 3 billion or something. Or 3 million. I don't know the unit. A lot. An absurd amount for a JPEG. If I gave you $5, it'd be an absurd amount for a JPEG.
So that's PNG money right there.
That's PNG money.
Gotta pay for that transparency.
If we make that double digits, you're sending me a bitmap, sir. What's this? Okay. Uh, yeah, I mean, it's always kind of interesting to think about what could have been. Crypto has been on a slow increase for like 10 years. It had been. And w- whether the NFT craze, I think one thing that NFTs did, whether or not it's the result of pandemic or not, and this is something that I more or less got from Line Goes Up. It's a documentary I've mentioned multiple times on the program. Um, is that so many people got into it with NFTs, particularly, but in general, crypto had a lot of stuff. Elon Musk doing his horse manure um, with it, that it grew, and a lot of people who were maybe on the fence got into it. But then you get to a point where anyone who's interested in it has done so, and there's nowhere to go. There's no growth opportunity. And the value, hold on, the value of blockchain investments is that they will always grow. If they are not growing, they are worthless. They will lose value. And so not only are fewer people getting in now, but more and more people are coming to terms with the scam that they are and getting out. I think NFTs accelerated that. I don't know how the pandemic affected that.
A lot of people were thinking like it's a get rich quick scheme. I could take a picture of a dog, pixelate it,
Put it
make
through
it
a
like,
randomizer so it could be 1,000 different colors.
and right
Yeah,
up there.
and again, or even just like, oh, I could just mint the one picture of my dog kind of thing. The people that make, oh, a drop of 1,000 or 10,000, whatever, they're the ones who then go and then do a rug pull or something like that, where everyone puts their money in, and then they take all their money out, making everything worthless. Or plenty of other schemes. A rug pull is just one of the more popular ones, but there's plenty of other schemes in it. Um, and yeah, even like when I wasn't into it by any means, but I was exploring it, and I put in maybe $60 of my own money, and then through Coinbase I was just, oh, I'll enter these free things about, get $3 worth of this other coin over here of Decentraland or Mana or whatever. And then line was going up. It's like, yay, it's like free money, which then circled around and lost a lot of it again. I think I barely made a profit on it by the time I sold all of it on the show, but I'm not sure. The VOD is long gone by now, and I don't think that we saved them on a hard drive. Well, no,
They're on YouTube.
oh, that's right, they're on YouTube. It's there. Um, that's all the topics that I've brought with me today. Steve, I don't know what else you got.
Um,
Was this for anything in particular, or just
oh,
a...
this was just a reminder to not
Oh,
say swear words.
Steve's language can be very blue, so he wrote himself a reminder.
That was actually Dave's that was sitting there.
It was. This was Dave's original. Oh, that's right. This was Dave writing a reminder that he would use this as a sign sometimes. But this was Dave's goal last year of 1,000 surpassed and then pushed up to 2,500. If I hit 2,500 this year, I'm doing a 12-hour Elex stream, and we'll see how that goes.
Maybe
And
you'll beat the game.
I won't beat it in 12 hours. I might lose my stinking mind. It's not going to be a St. Jude stream, by the way. I will not be able to keep it clean playing that game. It will be a reward that will be later on.
But yeah. In the rumor mill for the last few weeks, few months, FIFA and EA Sports.
Oh, yeah.
Have ended their 29-year partnership. The last game that will be released will be FIFA 23, coming out presumably later this year,
Mm-hmm.
as how all sports game cycles go. And that is
it for
really...
FIFA with EA as a video game. They've already selected the name for the franchise going forward, because they're going to keep making football/soccer games, whatever you call it locally where you are. They're going to keep making these games. They sell as well abroad as Madden does here. But they've always just been called FIFA whatever. So do you have written down there what it's going to be called?
I do not, but I could do a quick look. I know the FIFA 22 is actually this month's one of the PlayStation Plus games.
Okay. So that is the current latest release. So you can check that out. While he's looking that up, I will say that like if that ever happened to Madden, if they lost the NFL license for Madden, that's fine. Technically, the games are Madden NFL 22, Madden NFL 23, that kind of thing. But it is now, you know, people just call it Madden 22. So if they lost the NFL license, it wouldn't be a big issue for them with their name unless they also lost the rights to John Madden's name.
What a stupid name. EA Sports FC.
FC makes sense, football club.
But they already have UFC. They do like yearly releases of that too.
I don't think it's gonna be mixed up. Um, especially like looking at the branding, that looks pretty cool. So like UFC, I'd have to see what it looks like, I guess, on the box. I'm fine with it because FC makes sense, particularly abroad. Again, FC is a very common kind of term, football club, for a team. So it makes sense to me. I guess we'll see how it compares to UFC, but I don't think that their audiences are going to cross over all that much. The FIFA crew and the UFC crew.
More than 300 individual licensed partners, giving players access to more than 19,000 athletes across 700 teams, 100 stadiums, and 30 leagues, according to Polygon.
Okay, so this is non-FIFA teams. Like I'm trying to like skim through here, and it looks like exclusive partnerships with UEFA's Champions League tournament, English Premier League, most of Italy's Serie A clubs, South America's Copa Libertadores Club Championship, and other major brands not controlled or managed by FIFA. So it's not like the main FIFA teams and whatever, but it is still like looking maybe like a little more international to the like other brands. No, that actually is a potentially promising direction for them too. Like they can still develop the game the same way they always have, as far as how the game plays can still be right there. But that's kind of like an interesting way to go with the branding after they've lost the license.
That'd be kind of like if MLB The Show, instead of MLB, it'd be the minor leagues just entirely.
Yeah, exactly.
But hopefully it goes well. Hopefully it's not much my team. So that's a whole nother can of worms.
Anything else, good sir?
I don't really have much besides.
That's fine. So, yeah, it's been we've been able to find topics, but overall it's felt like a kind of slow news week. I don't know, like not. There's some weeks where stuff pops out to me and jumps out to me. I'm like, I gotta make sure I bring that. I gotta make sure. Whereas this week it was like, oh yeah, that did happen. It's fine. Slow news weeks happen.
I know Game Rant released the top 10 best-selling Switch games that were in the financial.
Ooh. I did have. I feel like I had something else, but hold on. I need to get away from my Tiltify page for a second. Yeah, that is neither kid safe nor that's talking about a cocktail to make. That is not the tab that I thought it was.
All the major suspects were there. Your Smash Brothers, your Animal Crossings, Mario Karts, Odyssey. Ring Fit Adventures, 10th best-selling Switch game.
Okay. It's kind of like in the vein when we were talking a couple of weeks ago about Nintendo Switch Sports coming out, and that it's going for that audience, the kind of more fitness-oriented or casual-oriented, and not so much the gamer audience. So, yeah, I can see Ring Fit going into that. Is Switch Sports out now, or was it just announced? Okay.
Came out the 29th, around there.
We gotta play it.
I hear it's very bare bones.
Oh, okay.
For a $40 game, $50 if you want it physically.
Okay. And I guess we'd have to see like how much of it relies on the gyros in the Switch controllers. Because after playing House of the Dead with Dave a couple weeks ago, I'm not a fan of Switch controller gyros. Alright, I'm going to keep the crosshair exactly where it is. The crosshair is still right there. There we go, we're good. It's still staying in the same spot. So if I just held it steady, it would look. We'll come back. Come on. Come on.
It
Come on.
looks like at least the motion controls are there. Like it feels like you're bowling.
Yeah, like for more snap movements.
Yeah.
So you've played it?
No.
Okay.
But at least from what it seems from all the reviews.
Yeah, like a snap movement of just you're going and you're not going anymore and you're twisting. Good. Staying steady. Like I wouldn't want to do. My favorite stuff in Wii Sports Resort was the biplane flying around the island, finding the balloons and all that. I wouldn't want to do that on a Switch controller. Not at all.
I think that wouldn't be too bad if it relies more on just the motion rather than like seeing where it is currently. So like if you're turning, you just turn rather than like pointing.
Yeah, I mean the airplane in Sports Resort wasn't pointing at all. It was you holding steady, so you're going like this. If the Switch thinks that it's drifting down like that, you hold it steady and it just. I don't know. Not that that's one of the things in Switch Sports, but
All it's got is soccer.
does it have 100-pin bowling?
No.
Okay. So
It's-
Poof doesn't have to try again for.
He got 300,
He did. 3,000. He did end up getting his 3,000 game.
but he got 300 on Switch Sports within days.
Oh,
of it
okay.
releasing.
Good for him.
We don't need any Joy-Con broken.
I mean, right now Joy-Cons are at least still being produced, so now's the time. Get that done instead of breaking stuff that hasn't been made for 5 years.
He is the sole reason that Toad Wii Remotes have skyrocketed in value.
It's bizarre.
He's broken so many of them. I wonder if he's given any of them away.
The broken ones
Yeah.
still in the Wii rubber.
Yeah.
I wanted to call it something else. You know what I was gonna say.
The rubber grip.
The rubber grip. Yeah.
That's
Sending this out to a patron. Get it out of my sight. Okay.
Those Mario Wii Remotes are pretty nice looking.
They are. That's the thing. And of course, they're the ones that have Wii Motion Plus built right in instead of having the plug at the bottom.
Yeah.
Like, I liked how quickly they moved to having them all in at once. We're just talking nostalgia about like an older game system at this point, but that's fine.
The it makes me think like they could have done that before, pushing the Wii back like a couple months.
The Wii released at just the right time. Like
Yeah.
looking at how well it did for them, if you look at how many units they sold, again for that casual group that was just doing Wii Sports that came with the console, it's something like 20 or 30% of consoles the owners never got an extra game for it. So the amount that actually used anything with Wii Motion Plus built in is so small that it wouldn't have been worth it to delay a little. I think that, yeah, because it's what, 3 years later?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's something that came out and then they focused on specifically getting more precise movement out of the controller. I don't think it was something that was a goal at the start. They got good enough, and then they're like, all right, we have a hardware division that can try to do more.
Does it make a difference?
Yeah.
Uh,
It is funny the questions that come up on Google when you try to look for something. Some of it is like, hey, this is asking exactly what I was looking for. When did the Wii Motion Plus come out? Do they still make Wii Remotes? Which Wii Remotes have Motion Plus? Does RVL003 have Motion Plus? What?
I think that's the Wii Remote version. No. Oh. No. That's the original was RVL003.
Oh. Now we know. And it's like, that's not, that's under an article saying how to identify a Wii Remote Plus controller. RVL003, whatever, doesn't factor into it at all. All it is the text along the bottom that says Wii Motion Plus or Wii Remote Plus. But Google is like, this is the question that would be asked from that. It just puts it together. Because there's very few people asking in Google, does RVL003 have Motion Plus?
That specific model of that specific remote.
If you know RVL003, you know it doesn't.
Yeah. That's one of the great things about like those old, or just any controller. You could tell which one's which.
Yeah.
Which one?
So you remember how the Xbox 360, not the Xbox 360 Elite, the Elite, before the 360S, how like it came out and it had a lot of red ring stuff like that, but you know how like they downsized the motherboard, they changed the power supply that could go with it. I had to make like a cheat sheet when I was working at Game Nuts to say, if the plug that goes in the Xbox 360 looks like this, or like, if the serial number is this is the kind of motherboard that it has. And so this is the kind of power supply it needs. It needs at least a 150 volt power supply.
Mm-hmm.
Or volt, watt? Not volt.
Watt.
Yeah, watt. Whereas if it's a new Jasper board, it needs 150. If it's the Falcon board, it needs a 175. And like, we had like one of those big stupid packs of rubber bands from Staples or whatever. So I'm like, all right, red is the 203 watt, yellow is how we wrap up the 175s, and blue is the 150s. And it was just like, I paid attention, and I'm pretty sure the other guy at my location paid attention. I have no idea about the other location of the store. But it's like, just please. It's one of those things where like I had to look up on my own, but then it's like, all right, that'll make me better as a game seller that I know this stuff and I can help people out with it. Yeah. Because otherwise, like, I don't want to sell an original motherboard 360 with a 150 watt power supply. The thing doesn't even fit. Like, worst comes to worst, plug it in. Don't fit, it don't go with that system. Grab another one. Including when they trade them in. When you trade them in, boop, that doesn't fit. Sorry, do you have the one that actually goes with this? No? Okay, bye. Well, that was amazing miming on my part. I just saw that on 15-second delay. Boop! Steve, it's been a long day. Do you have anything more for the program this evening?
I do not. But for the rest of St. Jude's, what are you planning for, like, not just the Citadel, but later on?
Good question. So yeah, as I mentioned, St. Jude goes until the end of May. So let's see. I am going to be playing The Force Unleashed immediately after this on the Citadel. We are going to be starting the game, so make sure you join me, and we'll hang out with Lord Vader and then with Starkiller. On Friday, I'm being joined by a coworker, and we are playing Overcooked. That is like, I guess, a platforming cooking game, like a cooking themed platforming game. Yeah. That can be done co-op, and that we're gonna try to do. And I just watched the trailer for it on Steam. He's bringing over his PS5. We're playing the game. It's gonna be a good time. This Saturday, I have at my house a book called Star Wars Diplomatic Corps Entrance Exam. It is a trivia book for Star Wars.
Okay,
It is a trivia book for Star Wars from 1997. So what do you think would be covered in that?
4, 5, 6.
Uh-huh.
Some of the expanded Legends universe that came out around then.
It's a lot of expanded Legends universe.
The good stuff.
So it's like, what planet did Biggs Darklighter go to the Imperial Academy on?
I feel like I actually know this one, but I just can't remember it.
I have read all of those books. I read all of the EU up until about midway through the New Jedi Order stuff, which was early 2000s. So I will have known all of these, but most of them I wouldn't have read for at least 20 years. I don't even know if I got that question right. If there's anything about the Imperial Academy, it's probably the one on Karita. But
rest in peace, Biggs Darklighter.
right? Especially your role. You had such a bigger role in the movie, and then it was cut for time. But that's fine. I then looked at the scene, and I'm like, nope, it's good that that went. Bye-bye.
Beggar's Canyon.
Oh, actually, it was a question about the ship that he got off of Tatooine on the Rand Ecliptic. But yeah, so like these questions that are from things like the Crystal Star, the Corellian trilogy, the Jedi Academy trilogy, the Zahn trilogy, obviously. And yes, there's stuff in the movies as well, but I'm really hoping that people pop by my stream for that, twitch.tv/boaterbug, because I'm gonna need help. A friend of mine is a Star Wars creator on TikTok. It's like makes Star Wars content, so I'm probably gonna make something for him to duet and try to get the word out there. Yeah, aside from that, we're going back to Jedi Fallen Order on Sunday on Brunch with Boater, and then we're taking it from there to see how it goes. I do have a Dragon Age 2 lore stream that will be on the Citadel next week, where we're just going to read a bunch of the journal entries and lore. That was an unlocked milestone. And there's also going to be a Bean Boozled stream of some sort in the future. I just need to figure out exactly what that's going to look like. So
Nice.
to contribute, you can go to the link that's been dropped up in chat. Stick around and ask me about it on Citadel. And you can check out more milestones and future streams planned out right there at that link. However, I think it's about time to call it a night. We're going to move everything over that way. I need to add a few St. Jude things to our overlay. And so in about 20 minutes, we will be live with Star Wars The Force Unleashed. I'm really looking forward to that. In the meantime, thank you very much, Steve, for joining me on the show.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
It has been wonderful, and I hope you get to take that hat home.
Giving me ideas here.
Or at least keep it hostage in your office.
That's what I'm gonna do.
In return for this hat, you will have to give me... Just kidding. I will have to keep something Spider-Man on your set. Anyway, I'm going to stop giving you ideas. I've been Boater.
I've not been Dave, man.
And we will or will not see you next week on the Nerd Glasses podcast, Tuesday, 7:45. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Adios.